Welcome back for another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today, we're going to be talking gear. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I wanted to kind of come back to this subject, talking about how I choose how to gear my champions. More specifically, PvE versus like PvP builds. Like, for instance, right here on my Avidus High Lord, a champion that isn't great in arena, so I use him in a lot of PvE spots. He's amazing for waves because he can just nuke out these waves. His 2 AoE hits right there just hit so hard. So I have him built differently than someone that I would have in arena, someone like an Armand's, for instance, who's only going to be in arena. So I want to talk about like these different kinds of builds, how I set up these and how I think about this. Maybe it's not 100% accurate, but this is how I go about building my champions for different areas of the game. And as we hop in here today, let me remind you guys, you can get Thal and Falbeard for free. Links down there in the description. And then you can also still log in for 7 days. We got the Assassin's Creed collaboration, so going with Ezio. And then you got some promo codes going on. I heard there's supposed to be a new promo code for the Fusion. I'm not sure at the time of recording of this, but keep your eyes peeled, check around for that, because this was recorded before that was supposed to happen. But you can still use Kitty Cut to get the Cheshire Cat, or even Go Fast to get Razzlevarg. But keep your eye out for that new promo code for the new Fusion coming out as well. Start your account with 3 free legendaries, and then as you level up, you can get some more epics. A great way to jumpstart your account. And right now with like all the anniversary stuff going on in Raid, like they're giving us so much free stuff, like so much free packs. One of these packs is in here for free. This one, here it is. Like we're gonna get Sacreds in here. Like there's gonna be a lot of great free stuff. Not to mention like there's free prisms going on right now. The summon pool for this is actually insane. I'm probably gonna roll up some accounts. Like if we could finally hit nut, that would be insane. So it's an amazing time to start off a Raid Shadow Legends account. If you guys want to do that, links down there in the description. Check that out. Again, I do think it is the best time to start a new account if you've ever considered it. But let's go ahead and let's talk about the gear now. And this is just kind of how I think about it. Maybe it's not 100% the right way, but this is just how I go about it when I'm building champions. Because we're talking about PvE, which is like dungeons, bosses, Curse City, Doom Tower, all that kind of stuff, versus PvP, arena, live arena, tag arena. We're distinguishing the difference between these and where we're using these champions. Now, some of these champions, I use in multiple areas. The Ninja Turtles are a great example of champions that I use in multiple areas, just because like the synergy that the turtles have, like they're so good. Like the ally attack makes them so good, especially for something like Fire Knight Hard. The only way I've ever beat Fire Knight Hard is because of the Ninja Turtles. I guess this way, huh? Because of the Ninja Turtles. But the gear that I have for them, the gear setups are PvP builds. But a champion like Donatello is someone that I might switch out of that arena gear and put him in like a 9-piece protection. And this is just a set that is from my Elva because it's very HP based, which Donnie is an HP champion, so it works out. I have a lot of presets. I love using presets, but 9-piece protection is really nice because he's going to place those continuous heals and strengthens. And then with 9-piece protection, that's going to allow our champions to deal more damage. Okay. And then we get the protected buffs in there so they can't be removed. So you got to think about, the way I think about this is the length of the battle. If it's going to be like a PvE area or facing a boss or something like that, like if I'm running him, I run Donatello and Chimera also. If I'm running him there, I want to get the most benefit out of the gear. So a set like this, the 9-piece protection here, we get that 75% chance of placing a protected buff. Amazing. That means that our buffs can't be stolen, especially if you're running like a Chimera. You're just going to help your champions not get stolen and stripped from the Chimera, but they're going to deal 5% more damage. On these boss battles where you're drawing it out a little bit longer, you want to increase that damage as much as possible, and a set like protection can really help that. However, if I go into the arena, 9-piece protection can actually work decently well, but also like if the other team goes first, we can get jammed up. So that's when I switch over to a stone skin set. So I'll run him in something like this here, where we'll run like a 6-piece stone skin here, where we get the stone skin for 2 turns, 50% chance of blocking removals or steals. That way is in there. He's got the stone skin. He can do his thing working through there. Same thing with like Donatello, like or Leonardo rather. I'm running like my base arena team is just all 4 Ninja Turtles. It's just such an easy team that works in here. But I'm just running them in half stone skin. And then like for Leonardo and Michelangelo, half stone skin, half ignore set. Crit rate ignores with the lethal there, 4-piece stone skin. And again, this is just because we're running it in arena situations. It's you know, it protects us on that first turn and then it works out. Now, Raphael is a little bit different because Raphael, like, you don't want to kind of protect against that berserk. You kind of want him going berserk, so we don't do that. I guess when I'm building champions, it's just about the length of the battle. In arena, you want to try to be protected. If you don't get first, you use that stone skin, or you can use the new set, the Mercurial, to get the total guard in there, which I haven't built a lot of champions at Mercurial for the total guard. Stone skin is going to allow us to protect, and it's a pretty difficult buff to strip. I mean, obviously there's a few champions that do it really well, like Empress can do it, Fabian can do it really well. But you notice, like, these are all champions I'm using in arena. They're all in stone skin. And then, like, in arena, another set for like a Fabian or like an Armand's or like a controller is a supersonic. You get that 4-piece supersonic. It's going to fill their turn meter by 2% for each buff in there. So you can kind of cut in and just steal a turn, which is really, really nice. Same thing with my Armand's. He's in stone skin with the supersonic in there, so he can cut in there and have a chance to kind of steal that turn. Rooster, again, another one of my nukers, stone skin, savage. And these are my arena champions, but Hive Lord I never use in arena. Now, I've been playing around with different sets with Hive Lord. Sometimes I'll run Hive Lord in a set like this, where we aren't really worried as much about landing the burn. Which set am I looking for here? Sorry, I know in my crazy head this all works. Wukong, this Wukong set I use on a lot of people. So sometimes I'll throw him in the Wukong set here, because the difference here is the other set, of course my storage is full. The other set is just perception. It's just built in there for accuracy and stuff. It really depends who I'm running with, but when we run this set here, we're gonna have the 6-piece Merciless, which is gonna give us 35% ignore, and that's really gonna help us nuke out those waves, deal a lot of massive damage. I use this set, I use 6-piece Merciless so much in PvE and in faction wars and all that kind of stuff, just because 6-piece Merciless just hits so hard. But if you run 6-piece Merciless in arena, you have, especially with nukers generally aren't going to be the fastest. You have a chance of getting jammed up. You got a chance of getting like your active skills blocked. You got a chance of just getting taken out, getting KO'd. And that's why we run like a half stone skin, a half nuker set, like savage or lethal or something like that. But in PvE, we don't have to worry about that as much. And that's where we can get away with running the 6-piece Merciless, so we can get that ignore in there. We can get those big buffs from the attack and the crit damage, chances to reduce the random skill cooldowns. So that's why we run like the 6-piece Merciless in those situations. I mean, Thor is a perfect example. That's who it's on right now. I was running him in Doom Tower against Dark Fae, because he just goes in here, he nukes out the waves with the 6-piece Merciless, and then he helps out taking out the first little set of the goons there. So it works out really nicely. Now, Marius, I just unlocked. I'm still like kind of figuring him out. We just got the soul for him, which we just got that up to 5-star, which I don't think at 5-star we switch it to Crushing Ren, to be honest, because the way Crushing Ren works, I think we need it at 6-star to really get the most benefit out of it. So I don't even know like what we put him in. And I haven't played him a ton in arena, which I probably should now that we have the higher soul on him. I think like the 6-star soul is gonna be really nice. But for like PvE, like I've been kind of experimenting with like the Slayer set here, because 30% chance to deal additional AoE damage based on damage dealt by AoE skills. He's smacking AoE all around here. All of his skills are AoE based, so this is gonna allow me to put in more damage for him. Again, playing around with it, but also ignores 30% of the enemy defense when using AoE skills. Again, all of his skills are AoE. So like for a Marius, we can get away with not using a Merciless. I think Lethal or Slayer rather, excuse me, Slayer is just an amazing set for him. Boosting crit rate, boosting speed, boosting crit damage, and then we get that extra stuff. But like if I were to run him in arena, I would switch him to more like this little blended set here where we have some stone skin in, right? So we got stone skin accessories, got 4-piece stone skin, 4-piece savage in there, because we want him protected on that first turn, because the speed, like even like he just might not go first. And even with like if I'm running like Arbiter and getting that first turn, we still might not get there. So she might get banned also. Arbiter is actually a really interesting case of PvE versus PvP, because her build, for me, in my opinion, is the same. You just want her as fast as possible. The goal if you're running Arbiter anywhere is you just want her going first. So I just got her built for speed and survivability. My Arbiter is kind of like a mini nuker, to be honest. A little bit of accuracy is nice, but you just want your fastest sets on her. You just want all your 3 and 4 speeds in there and just let her cook through there. Even in live arena or regular arena, like that's fine, because your whole point is to boost into that first turn. You want her just kind of running through here and just getting that first turn. Ooh, live arena opens in a few. Maybe we'll run some live arena. But like, yeah, so like this one, speed lead with the Arbiter. Again, I just run turtles. I just run turtles. But we could just run in the Arbiter. Let's go with him. Let's go here because Empress is going to strip any stone skin. And then let's go Marius. Let's risk it here. In regular arena versus live arena, I feel like regular arena you can get away with less stone skin. Live arena, I feel like you have to protect yourself in stone skin. So when I say like a PvP build, I'm usually talking about some kind of stone skin, mercurial, some kind of protection. So again, we just want to go first, and that we just got her built for speed. That's going to boost into everyone else, and then we crowd control here with Armands. We could sheep here, but I'm actually not worried about it because how low her turn meter is. Empress can actually probably nuke, but I'm actually gonna just I kind of want to see the donkey smack with this gear on here. Let's see the donkey take this team out here. Okay, yeah, that's nice. So yeah, for like a champion like Arbiter, we just want to go in as fast as possible, getting that first turn boost. But sometimes if you're playing it in live arena, your RB might get banned. I mean, if you're picking RB, there's a good chance she might get banned, and that's where you might not get that first turn, and then you want to run some stone skin to protect yourself. So that's why like I run that. And I know like Mercurial and the guard is kind of becoming more and more meta. I just haven't really built anyone in it yet. I haven't really sat down and rebuilt a lot of champions. I'm trying to think of like other examples. Oh, so like Elva, for instance, Donnie probably has Elva's gear actually. Donnie or Elva, for example, I rarely ever run her PvP. Almost never. If I'm running her PvP, it's almost like a counter to a Calvalax because like she can strip. So what I do is like she puts up so many buffs with the block debuffs to increase speed. She's got the continuous heal on the passive there. She's placing perfect veil. So with her, I want her 9-piece protection as fast as possible here. Okay, so we want the protective buffs because she's going to be in a lot of my PvE teams, especially like those boss teams here. Let's see, who's my Chimera team? I don't even know who my Chimera team is. Okay, so she's not in there. Okay, so let's take a look at this, I guess. Titus in here. Titus, we're never really going to run PvP, right? So for Titus, we're going to run him in 6-piece Merciless. If I can find him in here, there we go. 6-piece Merciless. That way we can get that 35% ignore. And I know like some of the other substats don't really benefit it. The attack there, the crit damage will, the ignore defense. So for Titus, we're going to run him in a 6-piece Merciless. I think Lady Mikage, you can kind of run in a lot of different areas. You can actually run her in arena if you want. But for Lady Mikage, I think she's one of the easiest to build. I just build her in perception, make her decently fast, decent amount of accuracy in there. It works out really nice. Champions that are putting up a lot of buffs and debuffs, that's where you use your protection and feral. I think Lydia is actually really good for feral, for a 9-piece feral. I just don't have the accessories because she's placing decreased defense in the weaken, but she's also placing strengthen and increased speed. But she's just got so many skills that place the debuffs on there. And for a champion like her, like the 9-piece feral would be amazing, where allies are going to deal 5% more damage. I just don't have the accessories. Maybe I've gotten the accessories by now. Let's see. Do we have? Oh, wait a second. That's a banner. That's a banner. I'd love it to be an accuracy banner though. Love it to be an accuracy banner. So like her, I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling here. Hopefully you guys are kind of understanding what I'm getting at here. No Dua, we put in Mercurial. Like she's really nice. I think like a Hilvi could be put in Mercurial also. But again, like a Hilvi, like your turn meter boosters that you're running in arena, you just want them as fast as possible. You want same thing with like an Armands and a Fabian. You want them fast and accurate. 330 speed, 660. I know I'm just like kind of all over the place, but I'm just trying to show you guys some of my builds here on champions I'm using. I don't really actually use him. That was a bad click. Nice here. Let's put Nice's gear on him because someone's borrowing his gear. I run a lot of presets, and I think honestly presets can be really, really nice. Some of these presets don't get used. Like this preset can be deleted. Don't ever actually use this. This one's high accuracy. This one's like 700 accuracy, right? I guess the accessories aren't optimized for it. But this one here, this is a, what is that, cursed? This is my cursed set. This is one of my various, I have like 3 or 4 merciless setups here. So this is one of my merciless setups. This is another cursed setup here. This is the other merciless setup. This is the Wukong merciless setup. I have a lot of different merciless setups that I can just kind of run around and share that with. We have Thalin's build right here, which honestly, Thalin is actually running this. This is actually old Thalin. We could probably actually delete that. I got Titus is saved. When I see Adeline, I know that Adeline is fast and accurate. I know that this is a fast, accurate setup. So if I need a champion with accuracy and going first, I'm going to put them in the Adeline set. Hive Lord, I know a lot of attack, decent amount of accuracy on this. Leo, defense nuker. So if I need a defense nuker, same with Rooster, defense nuker. I know that Raph is in Swift Parry, even though like it's kind of like just like hodgepodge out here. We got Lemonessy kind of borrowing his stuff. But I love using presets. I think it's a good way to keep your stuff in line. Like Emrys, I know is going to be an HP based nuker kind of setup. Calvalax is just going to be all attack here with a little bit of accuracy in there. Arby's my speed set. Elva's a protection speed set. So Mithrala, another protection set with a little bit more accuracy and decent speed. My Krisk shield set. So these, I just know what these all are. I recommend using presets if you're swapping gear around, especially since it's free. I know that Armand's has Stone Skin with Supersonic, but I know he's going to be accurate and fast. I know that Nice is HP based in there. My Rotos had no gear, so I just threw him in this. So let's go ahead and let's throw Nice's gear back in there. I definitely recommend using presets. I don't know if I'm actually answering the question here because I'm all over the place, but this is how I look at builds. It's just like, where am I using the champion? What do they need? Do I need them to be protected if I don't get the first turn? When I say like PvP gear, I'm being overly cautious in case I don't get the first turn. All my nukers are going to run Stone Skin. Even my control is going to run Stone Skin. The only one really not going to run Stone Skin is whoever my turn meter booster is going to be. And right now, that's almost always Arbiter. Okay, so that's just all I mean by that stuff. I know it's kind of like weird, and I feel like I just rambled a ton. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I just ran my mouth a ton, and it just isn't going to be helpful at all. But in my head, it makes sense, right? Whisper, another nuker. We put her in Merciless. She's not going to be a PvP. She's a PvE nuker, so she's going to be running those 6-piece Merciless sets. My Lydia or my Lysandra, like since the Arbiter will be running the speed gear, I'll put her in Elva's gear sometimes. Just kind of giving examples of stuff here. I don't know. Ask questions down in the comments. I'll try to keep an eye on it. I'm really bad about answering comments. I apologize, guys. Lamasu, I'll put in that Adeline setup, or actually we'll put her in Feral setup. Just kind of depending on what she has. It really just kind of depends where we're at here. Man, I thought I had her in a 9-piece Feral, actually. I wonder who I stole her gear on. That's the one downside about moving gear so much, is sometimes I kind of mix things up. Ninja's a great example. A lot of people use Ninja. Just want him with a lot of attack, a lot of accuracy. We could put him in like a Merciless. That'd be great. But I just couldn't get the stats that I wanted with the Merciless that I had. So I feel like this actually works pretty well for a Ninja, especially like he's landing those HP burns and stuff. Yeah, makes sense in my mind. Rio Bone Spear is a really great candidate for a 9-piece Feral because she's going to be placing all of those debuffs. She might be the best candidate for a 9-piece Feral because she's going to place, what, 6 debuffs on the enemies? That's 30% extra damage. It's crazy, right? It's crazy out there. All right, guys, let me quit rambling. Hopefully you guys get it. Cheshire Cat, honestly, I would probably put a Cheshire Cat. I don't really have him built the way he should be right now. Do we have a preset for him? Okay, yeah, we do. We do. So Cheshire Cat, we would go with like more of oh no, that's not good. That's not good. I'd probably run him like 4-piece like Savage, 4-piece Stone Skin, because probably use him in Arena, or if you use him for waves, you can run him in 6-piece Merciless. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to build champions. That's what I love about this game, is you can build champions how you want them. Acrizia, just an amazing nuker. I run her in Relentless, so she just gets a bunch of turns, you know? There's so many different ways to build champions. I don't think there's a wrong way to build champions. It's just kind of how you want to use the champion, what's going to work for your style of play, where you're using that champion, where your focus is. I just hope this helps you guys out a little bit, all right? That was my hope with this one, as hopefully this will help you guys out a little bit. Thalin, I'm never going to be using in Arena. I use him a ton in PvE content. Thalin's amazing for wave content, nuking with the Merciless. All right, I know I keep rambling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.